We're live. Hey, everybody. Go ahead and get the likes up. Let's get the likes up. Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday. All right. I'll give everybody a chance to get in here. But welcome to the Bubbles and Flames podcast. I am your host, Tina. And let me get myself together here, get my notes real quick. But we are talking about a few things tonight. But the main thing that we're going to kick off with is do a recap of last week. And for those of you that joined us, we are coming off of a two-part customer service series. And hopefully, you learned something from that because I know I sure did about customer service and why customer service is important. All right. So, tonight, what we are talking about is if you got a new business, if you got a current business going on, how much is too much to invest, right? How much is too much? Hey, Miss Courtney, welcome back. I appreciate it. All right, and let me get my notes together here, like I said, because you all know me with my notes. I hope everybody had an amazing week. And what we're going to talk about are 4 tips for investing. And I'm going to keep this short and sweet, and then we could talk about it as always. 4 tips about investing in your business, right? All right. When we first get a business, right, we're all excited. Doesn't matter what the business is for the sake of this discussion. It doesn't matter what business, what type it is, because these tips are for any business. But we always want to run out and we always want to just get everything we need, right? Whether it is that the newest, latest, and greatest machine that's out or the newest software that's out. But you need to ask yourself, is that really necessary right now? Hey, Miss Rose, welcome back. Welcome back. All right. So there's 4 things that we're going to talk about, and in particular to makers. All right, for people who make products, but again, like I said, this applies to anything. Coaching and digital products are a little bit different, because of course they're you have no tangible product there, it's sent to you digitally, so you don't have some of these topics that apply to those type businesses. But any business, you don't want to overspend. All right. So we're going to narrow it down to 4 things within the time frame that we have. All right. And let's talk about the first one. Quality ingredients. I think this might be the biggest one, the first one and the biggest one. Quality ingredients. Why do you think it's important to get quality ingredients for your business? Excuse me. The reason that you want to get quality ingredients, your product is going to, number one, look better, smell better, last longer, and your customers are going to be like, wow, right? Excuse me. All right. So you want to start off with quality products and improve upon them. All right. So some of the products that I'm specifically speaking about are candles and soap for this demonstration. All right. So if you buy something cheap, And you know what? As a matter of fact, let me just use one of my candles because I happen to have one near me for a change. All right. So I use, and let me cut a light on here. I use premium eco-friendly glitter. All right. And when you talk about glitter, so the first thing with candles anyway that you want to do, and no, this is not a demo just for you all to get my product. I just really have my candle here. First thing you want to do is work on your ingredients, right? We're going to talk about packaging later, so don't you all judge me because this is a test candle. But the very first thing when you open a candle or even a bar of soap, what is the first thing that a customer does, right? If that smell doesn't hit them then, or as soon as they open it, whether in the case of a candle, if you have a lid, if you smell a lid, if you have a dust cover, whatever the case may be, right? And then, so that's the first thing they're going to do. And hello, Abba. I hope you had an amazing week. All right, and you came just in time. All right, so if you open it up, I smelled it, right? The very first thing that hit me was that cold throat, right? And then the second thing that they're going to do is do what? You see what I'm doing? I'm looking at the actual product, right? And then they're going to look at, in most cases, if you have a design such as I do, they're going to look at that design, right? They're looking at it and they may not say anything, but they're still enjoying the actual smell. So I just covered why I want to have good products, right? Because I want the smell to hit them. I want it to be appealing to the senses, the smell, the nose, and also the eyes, right? All right. So as I'm looking at the candle, and it depends if you're a fellow candle maker, they're going to check out, are your wicks placed right? What's going on with this candle, right? So when you look at it, right, hopefully you all can see that. All right. So you see how it reflects and everything is smooth. That's what I'm known for, is the design and it being smooth edge to edge, right? So that's what you're looking for. And that person, I want them to instantly feel like they won the lottery, so to speak. I want them to have an experience. Oh my goodness. Hey, Keita from Mahogany Organics. Hello. And Courtney, thank you for the compliment. All right. So you want your customer, it doesn't matter what it is, to feel that. They want to smell it. They want to, if it's soap, you want them to imagine themselves using your product, right? So does that make sense so far? You want to establish a reputation for quality. Thank you, Abba. All right. Next thing, let me use. I don't have one near me that I have packaged and ready to go. All right. So I'm just going to use this bottle of hand sanitizer. What stands out immediately, and you all don't even know what this is? What stands out on this hand sanitizer? What stands out on it? What it is, right? The name of the company on this one in particular, that REVIV, that's the name of the company that made this hand sanitizer. So you notice the packaging, all right? So you want your customers to immediately know, hey, that is whatever your company name is. They know it from a distance and they're going to be excited about getting it, all right? So quality ingredients, good packaging. We've already talked about branding before, so I'm trying not to go deep into branding, but you want your branding to also be consistent, right? Because that's the first thing that your customers are going to see. And this is just for me personally, you want them to feel like they have an experience every time they open one of my candles anyway. All right? That's how I want them to feel, like they got a gift every time they open it. And then also, of course, if you've ordered candles from me before, you are going to have to go through a lot of unwrapping to get it out. And that's intentional. All right. What are some other ways that customers, you can make them feel warm and fuzzy? What are some of the things that you all do? So we've talked about quality ingredients. What if I use cheap ingredients? What's going to happen? And I'm stopping and pausing and giving people time in the comments to give me a response. But what happens if you use cheap ingredients, for lack of better words? All right, they're not going to have the same effect, right? It's going to be like, ew, what is this? Exactly, you get cheap results. So, the number one thing that you definitely do not want to be associated with is cheap ingredients, unless that's your market. But even Dollar Tree, which is now the $1.25 store, or Dollar Plus, has stepped everything up. You want to be known for your quality no matter what product it is, whether I put out soap, whether I put out wax melts, it doesn't matter what it is that I'm doing. All right? Doesn't matter. All right. So, with that being said, I want good quality product. I want packaging, right? So, and I don't have one like within my note. These are all unmarked. So I'm going to show you all, and yes, I'm using myself as an example, but I'm going to, hey, Mika. All right. And Mika said a premium candle starts with premium ingredients, right? And I think I said this on a previous episode. I was going to show you all my very first glitter candle that I made, and I found it when we were talking about where we were and where we've been. No, Mika, I'm not on Instagram tonight. I'll talk to you about it later. All right. So see, there's the very first. If you all could see that, you see how it's not that edge to edge that I told you about. All right. So these are things that you want to be known for. Customers still bought these, right? It was still okay, but which one would you prefer between the two? And for me, it doesn't matter the size. I do the same thing. But you see what I'm saying? Customers expect different things, right? So whether you are putting out a bar of soap in whatever the case may be, or if you, whatever your product is, let me just not say candles or soaps, establish a reputation for yourself. That's where I was going, for being known for quality ingredients. So how can you establish a reputation? By doing what? The number one thing that most people struggle with, at least I do anyway. It starts with the M, the famous marketing, right? So that's three things: quality ingredients, good packaging, and your marketing. Because when your marketing is on point over the years, and it's not an instant thing for most of us anyway, you build up your reputation, and it's like, I know that product. That's Love You Bunches Candle Co. right there. I see it. I see the logo. I see the colors if you've changed your logo. Or just like Mika with Maryland Wax, right? With Maryland Wax Club, you know when you see that M, that's what that stands for, right? So what she's doing is she has established her branding and her marketing, right? And that's something even for me that I still struggle with today. All right? Branding is key. So we've got quality ingredients, we've got our packaging, we've got our branding, and the fourth one, which is a big one, especially if you are a candle maker that uses wooden wicks, you definitely should be big on education, correct? Education is key. We have to constantly educate our customers, because some of our competitors just throw stuff out there, the spaghetti on the wall, right? Just to see where it lands. All right. So education is extremely important. What do you mean by education? You're educating your customers about your product. I just had this discussion earlier today with a friend of mine that is entering into a new business. I said, you have got to know not only your products when you make your final decision on what your offering is going to be, you've got to know what your products are, why you didn't pick certain ingredients, what type of reactions can happen, because I'm talking about skin here. You've got to know all of that stuff because your customer needs to know this about your product. Also, you've still got to have those first three elements that we talked about, right? The quality ingredients and also that visual effect. And it's actually funny that I do have Mika in here as a supplier, and it's funny because I wanted to recognize her because she is one of my suppliers. She supplies actually all of my wax, and in most cases the wick. All right, the only thing I have to do is get glitter, and actually for this particular candle, fragrance as well. So that's three for her, right? And Mika and I've never met face to face, but we talk all the time, and she has educated me on the wicks in the candle, right? A lot of times we don't think about that. What about, because Kita is also in here from Mahogany Organics, and she is big on labeling. Even though she changes her labeling all the time, her labels are always clean but inviting. Like she's got a new summer line out. And I just wanted to give you some examples so when you go to these individuals' sites or their social media, you can see the trends that they have in their branding. But their branding is consistent. And of course, the big one, and he's not in here right now, is Rob from Dapper Guru, who is just knocking everybody out right now because Rob's branding is clean, it's classic, but you know that it's him. With that, when you see that black and white for that soap for the men, you know that that's Dapper Guru. All right, so those are things, just four things that I wanted to open up the floor about to my mods and to those that are in the chat or watching the replay. Those are four things, since I wanted to try to keep it concise so we could talk about it and then talk about next week, that you, in my personal opinion, that you need to have. Always be known for quality because that's what's going to keep your customers coming back. We already talked about when Rose gave us the customer service discussion, have that top notch customer service, correct? So if you've got quality ingredients, you've got A1 customer service, if you decide to offer that loyalty program that we also talked about, and then your packaging is on point, of course they're going to go back and tell their friends, they're going to tell other people, and there you have your established customer base as a new business. So let's go back to talking about some things that we've also discussed in previous episodes. You've got to keep your cost of goods low. So whenever possible, that is, I was going to say whenever, wherever, but whenever possible, buy in bulk because that gets your cost down and you can drive your profit up, right? But it's not always about profit. How about sometimes give back to your customers, which is where your giveaways come in, all right? Because I guarantee you, if you do a giveaway, that you're going to have individuals that will start following you. But let's talk about that. If you do something where you say the word giveaway, yes, people are going to come, but you still want to maintain that quality, and you that kind of goes into that cost of goods. It should cover your giveaway as well. What about when you're testing items? Note that when you start a new business, before you, this is just some advice because I know some people don't do it, and it's unsolicited advice at that. Make sure that you test your products before you just throw them out there. All right, I've seen a couple examples of that where people see something and it's like, oh, okay, I got it, I'm good, I already know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put it out there. It doesn't matter how it looks. All right, you may get money today, but you're not going to be a long standing and a long-term brand. That is true. And yes, while you are testing, and we've talked about testing in a previous episode as well, make sure that you take notes so you know what not to do, right? And also, how about this? Because I can say this for everybody that is in the room with me right now in the YouTube space. I'm sure you all have products that we've never seen, right? Because for whatever reason you didn't like it, it just didn't work out. It wasn't to your particular specifications. Has that happened to anybody? I have a lot of products that you all have never seen and probably will never see because they didn't pass what I want them to look like. They didn't give that visual. And I'm sure that my makers that are in here ran into that same thing. And that is normal. You'll have some products that, for whatever reason, you're just not going to put them out, or you may decide to put them on the back burner until later. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, I'm looking at what Rose said. And there's Kita's comment. So see, yep, and Abba. All right. So that is normal if you are just starting your business and you're all hyped up because you have this superstar product. And then next thing you know, and Rose was right on time with her comment. The newest lovely fragrance smells horrible in bath salts. How about in soap though? Does it smell amazing in soap? And Abba said, just like me, she bought vessels that she decided not to use. All right. So when you are a new business, you want to keep your costs, your startup costs low. Okay, Rose, so it works good in soap. Okay, so knowing Rose, she's going to have her labeling and her branding on that particular fragrance. She's going to steer them towards using it in soap or all the other ways except for bath salts. All right. So when you're a new business and you're just starting out, keep all of these things in mind. And in today's age, you all have a lot of things that will help you out that we didn't have even just a year ago. Of course, now with the rollout of AI has a lot of things that can help you in terms of marketing, even in terms of your packaging, just that information that is at your fingertips. So, what I would suggest, strongly suggest, that if you have not seen or worked with or thought about AI, you might want to start the process of incorporating it into your business. And for makers, for us, anybody that deals with fragrance, you probably have already been using AI when you select your fragrances and probably don't even know it. All right, so we'll be having some AI discussions in future episodes. All right. Abba says it's so tempting to buy all the vessels and fragrances and waxes, and that is correct. I don't know how Mika stands it. That would drive me absolutely nuts in a good way because she has all those amazing fragrances. She has all the different types of wax that she can test it in and see what works. And now she's got some other things on the back burners, and of course she has the wicks as well. So make sure, and I'm glad that you said that, Abba. It reminded me of my point. Make sure that when you are selecting your suppliers, okay, this is very key. Work with a supplier that is either in or works closely with your sector or niche, rather. Okay, you all hear me mention Mika a lot, and I'm always glad when she jumps in because she and I have established a relationship. She's literally my supplier for most things that I buy, except for glitter. All right, and I get that from her. She sold that too because for me, I like the convenience of a one-stop shop. And of course, I buy things from Amazon as well, but it's so tempting. And Courtney said, I I can't say it's tempting to buy vessels and wax, but I totally agree about the fragrance oil. And Courtney is one of our blenders, as well as Rose, and they dibble and dabble into a lot of things. They get so deep into blending, it makes my head spin sometimes with some of the things that they come up with. All right. And also, Rose said, Abba, I think that's why makers should sporadically do swaps with each other. We then get a chance to try out new products, vessels, and fragrances. I agree with you on that 1,000%. Bath and Body Makers used to do this frequently. And speaking of which, the website is coming. It should be up live by the end of the month. All right. So I have some designers working on it, and I have a meeting with them this week to look at it and see what I like and what I want to change. Because Rose just brought up a good point. When we did the first round of the fragrance episodes, we talked about a swap or a destash or what have you. So we will have a home for this podcast, and that is one of the things that we will have available to you all. As well as all the recipes that we talked about. So it is in the works. I did not forget, and I took under advisement all that we talked about. And we will also, one of the things that will come with the fragrance list, and I have to send a shout out to Courtney for this because she kept up with me uh, and Rose when we were doing the fragrances, is all the amazing suppliers out there. I told you all about my supplier, but there's a lot of suppliers out there and a lot of small businesses. So let's please make sure that we acknowledge and support them. right? All right. So you've decided on what your look is going to be. What about, and we did a previous episode on this too, what about interacting with your customers? Whether it's at events, whether you decide to do it online, which is a little bit more difficult, but again, you've got these modern tools now called going live, right? And you've also got all these different forms of social media. If you are an online business only, you're going to have a heavy presence on social media. You're going to have to do a lot of giveaways and a lot of creative marketing to get people to follow you and to want to try you out. All right. So I agree, the swaps are an amazing idea. I'm actually going to write that down to see what I can come up with that is creative, where we can do swaps in here. So yeah, more to come on that. Let me write myself a note. Bear with me for 1 second. All right. Did you all have? I wanted to try to keep it short and sweet and not overwhelm the users that are listening to the replay, to kind of give them 4 topics that to get them started, and then we can visit and break it down a little bit more. All right, because I wanted to switch and talk about next week. All right, because the fragrances were so popular. All right, so popular. I had a poll up that I'm going to put back up again. Yes, Rose, that is one of the things that, matter of fact, that's almost the sole reason, besides the being able to get the episodes and future merch. Yes, I do want to have where you all, as the mods, can put stuff in there, and myself, absolutely, most definitely. You know, you and I think a lot alike, and oh, Courtney saw that too. All right, so yes, that is a definite yes. So where you'll be able to purchase products from these people that you hear me talk about, you will see the list of the suppliers that you always, excuse me, see you talk about. And I have a long list of mods. Why do I have so many mods? Because as I grow this channel, I didn't want to have to add mods. And as you see, these ladies come, and Rob, he's not here tonight, so I said ladies, but they all support me. We support each other. All right. So that is definitely something in the works, most definitely. And for my mods, as I develop that, I'll send you more information on that. But most definitely. All right, let's see what Courtney said here. Oh, this is for Miss Rose. Okay, so they're talking offline about that, so I won't put that up there. All right, so yes, absolutely. I absolutely love that idea. Also, if you want to be featured on the channel, even if it's just a short or you have a video or something that you want me to put up, let me know. Again, I offered that as a form of advertisement for you, because believe it or not, there's a lot of people that contact and watch the show after we film it. So, by all means. And speaking of which, those of you that are mods, if you could put in the chat for me, in the comments rather, what your business is and what you do briefly, and how they can get in touch with you. All right. Whether you want them to reach out to you on IG. Mika, of course, we have your website out there, but if you could do that as well, and definitely Kita, um, and the services that you offer. All right. If you all could do that for me, I appreciate it. All right. So back to the fragrances. Sorry, I got distracted there because Rose got me hyped up as she always does. All right, she doesn't know this yet, but one thing that I want to start doing, I put a poll out there asking, what is your most difficult fragrance to blend with? And what I'm going to do, at least for next week anyway, I don't know which one I'm going to grab yet, but I'm going to take one of Rose's blends well with, and we're going to talk about that, because I'm not going to keep giving out recipes on each and every fragrance table, because that's not why we established a fragrance table. Yes, it is to discuss fragrances, but also to give ideas of how to blend them, and also to answer any questions that people may have, because there's different components to a fragrance in itself. And Rose kind of gave you a sneak peek of that, where she said her best fragrance doesn't work well with bath salts. All right, but it's amazing in soap. So those type of things are why we just established why we established the fragrance table and why it's important enough topic that we're going to talk about it every month. All right. So next week is our fragrance table topic, and I don't know which one I'm going to pick yet, but I'm going to take one of Rose's, as in the Chandler's Rose. She has on her site blends well with. So I'm going to pick one and we're going to talk about it. All right. So I will advertise that what we're going to talk about before next week. Also, if you are doing events, keep in mind this is just something that I learned. If possible, get your expected attendance count. That will help you with preparing. So if the expected attendance is only 20 people, you don't take 400 candles for 20 people, right? Does that make sense? So that's one thing I meant to mention that again because we had a couple people that asked me, how do I prepare for an event? All right, there's several groups on Facebook. You feel free to email me the questions or you can put them in the chat for this video, actually, even after we film, and I will answer back, or you can DM me directly. So, also, one of the things that we tested last Sunday, and I didn't think about this when I did it, so I'm going to do it again this Sunday, is I'm going to take this platform bigger. What do I mean by that? I'm going to start going live on TikTok. All right. The numbers amazed me, and I forgot that it was Father's Day and it was Juneteenth the next day. So a lot of people were out doing what they do and being adults and enjoying their family. So I'm going to try it again on this Sunday. Hey, Jayla. Jayla, do me a huge favor. What I ask everyone to do that is a mod, if you could put your company information and how they can contact you and what you offer, your offerings in the chat for me. All right, so we went on TikTok on Sunday, and Courtney jumped in, Jayla jumped in, Rob was there, and they were in there supporting me. And believe it or not, we had 2 or 3 people come through that were actually makers, but the rest of the people, it was 437 people that came through that live, and I was amazed because I've never seen numbers like that. So we're going to start the TikTok branch of this podcast to try to reach more people because I have a large growing following on TikTok. So I appreciate that. So we're going to start doing the Sunday lives over there at 7 p.m. All right. Right now, I'm just testing it out to see. Yes, Abba, it was a lot of fun. I was truly a fish out of water over there, but I picked it up quickly. We were playing games over there. I finally figured out how to do the music. So when I do it again this Sunday, and I may jump on again before then just to advertise it, but it was a lot of fun, and I was really surprised at how many people came through in such a short period of time. All right, because TikTok has a lot of interactive things that we can do. So if you have time, come check us out. And again, that's 7 p.m. Eastern. Another person that I wanted to shout out for her lives on TikTok and Instagram, but really on TikTok, is Jayla. She keep an eye on her channel, her Self Esteem Queen channel, because she does the sound baths, which are very soothing, and she does them on TikTok live. All right, so you can go and you can relax and listen. It's not any talking going on, so you can relax and de-stress your mind. All right, so I wanted to make sure I shared that as well. All right, I see the ladies chatting. All right, and I will get Rob to drop his information in the chat. And there's Jayla's information. Jayla, can you also do me a favor? I'm making her work, I know. Can you put your TikTok handle in? And for us, can you follow the podcast if you have not? Subscribe to YouTube, subscribe. But can you also follow me on TikTok, on Instagram, and it's at Bubblez and Flames, and Bubblez with a Z, and Flames with a Z. All right. Do you ladies, because I think it's just my ladies tonight, do you all have anything that you wanted me to discuss? Because I know this topic was quick, because of course I know next week's going to be longer. So I tried to keep it brief for tonight. Does anybody have anything they want to discuss? Mika, do you have any specials that you are running right now or anything that you want to announce? I know she just got some waxes back in, if she's still in here. She got some wicks in. Okay, thank you, Jayla. She got some wicks in, and let me see who else, because you know I like to update you all on what's going on. Okay, lot of the suppliers have fragrance, different fragrance oils. Um, if you use Cocoa 83, and I think this also applies for Mika as well, check your pricing on that. All right, check your pricing. Yes, she does have new scents coming as well. And same thing, Flaming Candle dropped their shipping. And I'm looking at this, so I'm sorry I'm looking away. Flaming Candle dropped their shipping temporarily. Candles and Supplies has scents of summer fragrances. Peach State has things back in, they're getting things back in stock. And Makesy is talking about soap. And then Candle Science has new fall and holiday fragrances available. And that's another thing, we talked about this. Everybody should be thinking about their fall fragrances right now. And for an advanced bonus, your holiday fragrances. All right? You should be working on those now because we are a season ahead. We just started summer yesterday, so you should be thinking about fall and, of course, going into Christmas. All right? Doesn't matter what industry you're in, if you're in the retail industry, that's what you should be thinking about, which I know is kind of weird because we just started summer and you're talking about fall and Christmas. All right. I think all my ladies have their information in there. So if you're new to the channel, as I said, please like, share, and subscribe with fellow makers. You can find us on TikTok. You can find us on Instagram. And I always post ahead of time what the topic's going to be. All right. So again, oops, I hope I didn't cut you all off there. Again, when you start a new business, to keep from investing too much money. Don't do what I did and go crazy and invest several $1,000s and then you have all this stuff you need to destash, which is why I'm excited about the destash group, by the way. You want to make sure you keep it affordable. And what's the number one thing that you need to do, which is the first thing I talked about? Always, always, always provide a quality ingredient, right? Always provide a quality ingredient. All right, Miss Jayla, Miss Kita, if she's in here, Mika, if you're still in here, Abba, and or Rose, do you all have anything for this week that you wanted to add to the podcast? Because I know next week, you know, is our favorite topic is fragrances, and that's going to be featuring the Chandler's Rose, some of her scents that she has going on over there. Rose, do you have anything interesting scent wise, that is, because you always have interesting stuff that you want to share with us? I know last time you had the blends well with coming. Okay, she said she's good. Okay, and I'm going to get with you, Rose, of course, to see which one you suggest that I do. But share with your friends. We all have candle friends, soap maker friends. Share the live, especially for next week, so we can get the numbers up in here for the fragrance table where we talk about everything fragrance. All right, Rose, I will be in touch with you. Abba, I will be in touch with you as well. In between, let's see. Wait, when is this? Rose says she's doing a small workshop on blending patchouli essential oil. Oh, and there is Keisha from My Key Candle Co. Okay, greetings, greetings. All right, and Keisha will be the only one who out of the mods will not put anything in there because she has not opened her candle company yet. But we're working on it. I know, Jayla. I'm trying to get her to let us know when. She hasn't put it in the chat yet, or maybe she doesn't have a date yet. All right. So again, if you want to chill out on TikTok, it's the same format as this. You see me, but they don't see you, unless you want to come on stage with me, because I'm only letting certain people come on stage with me. For TikTok, if you want to check us out at 7 p.m. on Sunday Eastern Time, I will be there. Over there, it's kind of a little bit different format, though. We just roll with the flow. And we do games and everything else. So I'm looking forward to it. And I'll probably uh, jump on earlier in the week to announce that we're going to do that. Keisha, to answer your question, the mods put all their company information in and how to contact them. And I guess I need to put mine in there too. All right. Does anybody have anything else besides have an amazing week? And let me put my information in here. Ah. And I'll just put, to keep it quick, I'll just put my IG handles in there. How about that? Keisha, did that answer your question? They're putting in all their information. Okay, there you go. All right. Well, I am going to wish everyone an amazing, amazing week. Oh, you're welcome, Ava. I've got to reach out to you too. Seven, same time as last time, Jayla, 7 p.m. I'll send you a reminder, of course. All right. So we will do this again next week. And again, the fragrance room is next week. All right. So it's going to be Bubbles and Flames featuring the fragrance room. All right. So everybody have an amazing week. Rose, good night, and I'll be in touch with you for sure. And I appreciate each and every one of you. And if you're watching on the replay and you have some comments, drop them below, and I'll get back to you. Until then, see everybody next week. Good night. Thanks, Jayla.